What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is sportsperDiem.com. Spoiler alert, the Chicago Bears need a quarterback. Unfortunately, it seems like this is always a topic of discussion after every single season. And nothing changes in this offseason because the Chicago Bears still need a quarterback. It's best for the Bears and Mitch Trubisky to just call it quits, just divorce. And oh, by the way, congratulations to Mitch Trubisky on getting engaged to his longtime girlfriend. If Mitch Trubisky was as good of a quarterback as he is in finding that ring to finding that rock, Mitch Trubisky would have been a hell of a quarterback. But congratulations to Mitch Trubisky on his engagement, but Mitch Trubisky is likely to not come back. And that leaves Nick Foles as the starting quarterback currently for the Chicago Bears. Now, you already know that Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, they looking at their situation. They got a get out of jail free card. They used it. They are not trying to go around that board again with the pieces that they have or the piece that they have in Nick Foles. Nick Foles is a professional. He's a good guy to have in the locker room, and he's a nice, serviceable quarterback in case you have a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback, or if you already have a good starting quarterback in place. Nick Foles could be a very solid backup quarterback. Hence the word back up. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, first of all, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be with this Bears organization anymore, but they are. So they're going to go out and they're going to look for a quarterback to lead this Bears team. How are they going to do that? I'm not sure exactly how, but there's options in free agency and there's options via trade that the Bears could pursue. Now, let's start with those trade options because everybody they mama been doing Bears videos on the Bears acquiring Deshaun Watson. If Ryan Pace was to go out and get that big fish, to go out and get Deshaun Watson, it shows how desperate he is. Deshaun Watson has come out officially asking for a trade. His relationship with the Texans seemed like it can't be fixed, so he won't out. Now, the Chicago Bears aren't the only team that would like the services of Deshaun Watson. There's teams like the Jets and the Miami Dolphins, to be specific, that have much more to offer the Houston Texans than Chicago Bears. Secondly, let's say Deshaun Watson waived his no-trade clause. He waived his no-trade clause. Ryan Pace and the Chicago Bears, they acquired Deshaun Watson. I'll be happy as hell. Some of y'all be happy as hell. But just think about the king's ransom that you got to give the Houston Texans. You got to trade this year's first round pick, next year's first round pick. You probably got to trade the year after that first round pick to go along with some second or third round picks, mixed in there. That's a lot of draft capital for Bears fans. Do you want that? Deshaun Watson improves you at a high level at the quarterback position. But with that trade, giving up all those draft picks and also financially how it's going to hamstring your team, you're not going to have much wiggle room to improve the rest of your team. This Bears team is going to need some offensive tackle help. They're going to need somebody Deshaun Watson can throw the ball to. If they get Deshaun Watson, they probably ain't going to be able to afford Allen Robinson. So you have to go out and get more receivers to go along with Darnell Mooney. And those are just two positions. You still need to have depth in certain areas on your team. If you trade for Deshaun Watson, you got him. You got the top 5, top 10 quarterback. Bears fans, is that enough? So that's Deshaun Watson. That's the biggest fish you could trade for right now. So now I'm dropping down. So these guys are the combination. These guys were first round picks. These guys probably had success in the league. But all these guys have fallen from grace. These guys end up being backup quarterbacks on their respective teams, or their offense just fucking sucked. So that next little group of guys is Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, and Sam Darnold. Carson Wentz looked like he was the next star quarterback. In 2017, this man had an MVP season. Now, he didn't win the MVP because he didn't play the full season. He tore his ACL towards the end of the season, and that's when Nick Foles came in, and Nick Foles led the way for the Eagles all the way to the Super Bowl, beating Tom Brady and taking home a Super Bowl trophy. But after the ACL injury for Carson Wentz, he ain't looked the same. And it looks like every single year that he's been back, he's gotten worse. I'm not sure if Carson Wentz led the NFL in interceptions this season, but he was pretty damn close. Carson Wentz was so bad that he eventually got benched for Jalen Hurts. Now the Eagles have fired their head coach Doug Peterson, so who knows what the hell this team is going to do. Now, between those three guys, Wentz, Mariota, and Darnold, Carson Wentz cost a lot of money. The Eagles believed in him. They gave him a contract extension, and obviously, that was the wrong move. So if the Bears were to pursue Carson Wentz, the Eagles will have to do what the Bears did for the Jaguars last season when they got Nick Foles. They got to eat a whole lot of money. But let's just say the Bears made that trade for either one of those guys. You definitely not giving up a number one. You probably not giving up a number two. I'm not giving them no more than a third round pick. If they call me and they ask for a number two for Sam Darnold or Carson Wentz, I'm hanging up immediately. They don't even got to finish the word second. All they got to do is say, "Sss," I'm hanging up. I'm not giving up more than a three to any one of those teams. But those are some options for the Bears, via trade. You got the high end of Deshaun Watson. Then you got that middle to average to below average grade in Marcus Mariota, Carson Wentz, and Sam Darnold. So now I'm going to give some options the Bears have via free agency. The biggest option via free agency is possibly Dak Prescott. Now, I actually did a video about this before the season started last year, asking Bears fans, if you were the Bears, if you were in charge, would you pursue Dak Prescott? Now, depending on how you felt, you may feel a little bit different now. After seeing Dak break his ankle during the season last year, maybe you don't want Dak Prescott. But let me ask you this. What if the Dallas Cowboys said, we're done with Dak Prescott? We're not going to pay Dak Prescott because we're not sure about his ankle. We're not sure how healthy he's going to be. So we feel kind of cautious in giving Dak Prescott the bag. We feel kind of cautious putting the keys of the franchise in Dak Prescott's hands. So if this man became a free agent, Bears fans, would you be interested? Now, I tell you this. I think the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most overrated franchises. Not just teams in the NFL. Franchises in sports. But Dak Prescott, he's earned my respect. Even before he got hurt, and I know they didn't play that great, but even before he got hurt, he showed that the year before, it wasn't a fluke. He's really turned the corner. So if you're asking me, if Dak Prescott was available, I'll be more down in creating cap space for Dak Prescott than I will be trading for Deshaun Watson. I'm not giving up nothing with Dak. Yes, I'm going to have to get rid of some guys, some big contract guys that were productive for my team, but you're getting a quarterback. You're signing a quarterback who's in his mid-20s. That's the best option the Bears can take if it's available this offseason. But let's say the Dallas Cowboys chose to keep Dak Prescott, chose to either give him the franchise tag or to sign him long term. It drops down from Dak all the way down to the middle, all the way down to average, all the way down to your reclamation projects. But maybe the best guy after Dak in free agency, maybe it's Jameis Winston. Jameis didn't really play much this year with New Orleans. He was technically the backup quarterback to Drew Brees, but he really wasn't. Taysom Hill basically got all the backup quarterback snaps. In fact, when Drew Brees got injured, Taysom Hill was the starting quarterback. But Jameis Winston has shown that he'll air it out. And with throwing the ball a lot comes a lot of interceptions. Jameis Winston was the first quarterback, I believe he was. He was the first quarterback to throw for 30 or more touchdowns and 30 or more interceptions in the same damn season. That's no good. But that's what this tier is. And then you have the beauty is in the eye of the beholder tier. All these guys are reclamation projects. All these guys, teams that's going to sign them, they're hoping for the best. The guys like Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, and yes, Mitch Trubisky. That's the I hope tier. That's the bridge the gap tier. That's the reclamation project tier. The beauty in the eye of the beholder tier. You can give that tier all the names in the world. The one thing that tier isn't is good. But who knows what Ryan Pace is going to do, man. This guy is desperate. He's going to want to make a big-ass move to save his job. But those are some options for the Chicago Bears via trade or via free agency. Which way they're going to go, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm out. Like the video and share the video. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless. Peace.